What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Welcome back to the Journey to Incredibles 2. Today's review is for Monsters, Inc., which came out in 2001. It was directed by Pete Docter and starring the talented voice cast of Billy Crystal and John Goodman, as well as Steve Buscemi as Randall and James Coburn as Mr. Waternose. Joining me to talk about Monsters, Inc. is John from The Real Talk. John will give you his thoughts, then I'll give you my thoughts after. Without wasting time, John, take it away.
What's going on, everyone? John here from The Real Talk on my good buddy Ryan O'Toole's channel. So Ryan, thank you so much for including me in this whole Journey to Incredibles 2 series. The first Incredibles is actually one of my favorite Pixar films of all time, so it's nice to be included in this series. But like Ryan said, today we're going to be talking all about Monsters, Inc., which released back in 2001, directed by Pete Docter and featuring the voices of John Goodman and Billy Crystal. And a little quick fun fact, this movie was actually released on my birthday, November 2nd, so I thought that was pretty cool. But like I like to do with all my reviews, I like to talk about the experience I first had with the film. And to be honest, I didn't go to the theaters to watch this film. I watched it, I remember renting it when it came out, and I watched it for the first time at home. So I wasn't, on that whole Monsters, Inc. train when it first came out. But when I finally saw it, I really enjoyed it. And I've seen it a few times, from there to now. And I actually saw it last night for this review. And to be honest, I feel like it's classic Pixar. They've done it again, in that instance of just having, Toy Story, Bugs Life, and Toy Story 2, and now Monsters, Inc., and creating this whole universe or kind of world that I'm going to talk about a little bit later in my review. But first, I'm going to talk about the one negative I did have with the film is that's that in the beginning it kind of had a little bit too much exposition, but I do realize that it is trying to bring me into this whole world of Monsters, Inc. and what that means and what they do and kind of the world they live in. So for me, it was just a minor little nitpick. It wasn't too much of a big negative. So with all that out of the way, guys, let's get to my positives. Alright, so starting out with my first positive, I have to mention the voice acting and the characters. I feel like they go hand in hand in this. And I feel like Billy Crystal and John Goodman do a great job in kind of making Mike and Sully relatable. And you feel their chemistry with their voice acting and stuff like that. And it's also nice to see that, Pixar has been that company that makes animated movies for kids, but also with adult themes as well. So like when the adult takes the kid, they can relate to what's going on. Like Billy Crystal, Mike, he's trying to go on the date and stuff like that. And he's also trying to be there for his friend. And Sully's trying to be on the top of his game, but, his company's kind of, maybe not, he later finds out it's probably not in the best interest for him to, be that, the top kind of employee. But also, Steve Buscemi plays a great villain in Randall. You can feel how menacing he is in some parts of the film with the voice acting. Again, Jennifer Tilly is also on in this movie as well. It did have some exposition that was a little bit too much, but again, that was a minor nitpick. But I feel like this whole world of Monsters, Inc. and stuff like that was amazing. How it's a world of monsters, and the way they have their energy is from going into the rooms of kids and making them scream, and the scream is what gives them the energy. So that's their job. That Monsters, Inc. is a big company for that. That's one of my favorite aspects of the film, that and in Mike and Sully, they're the main characters. We follow them through their job and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. And this time around, I'm pretty sure if you're seeing this review, we've all seen the movie. So at the end, they figure out, obviously, and that's one of the messages of the film, that laughter actually makes more energy and more faster and stuff like it's more kind of efficient in a lot of ways. And I did notice that when Boo is in their apartment and they're trying to, she's over there crying because Mike took away the teddy bear from her. Then she started laughing because Sully was trying to distract her because they were looking for like the kid. So she started laughing, and then all of a sudden there's just an energy power surge throughout the whole building, and then that was a nice little hint of like what was to come. So just throughout the movie, I feel like it's just a great world they build. I loved seeing a little bit more of it in Monsters University. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel for Monsters, Inc. as well, because of the characters, like I said, in the world they were able to build in this one. So I had to mention that. So lastly, I want to mention the score and the animation. The animation, once again, is really great to look at. It's at the top of Pixar's game at that time. We saw a beautiful film like Toy Story, and then again in A Bug's Life, how it just looks so great. And now again with Monsters, Inc., the animation again was done really well, and it still holds up to this day, I think. And the score again by Randy Newman, it was just fantastic. It just makes you feel like you're right in that adventure with Mike and Sully and Boo, and it just really brings another level to the movie and makes it just a classic in this instance. Like I said, I didn't really, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't a big fan of Monsters Inc. growing up. I saw it, I really liked it, and like I started slowly becoming a big fan of the film and the characters, and now I feel like it's just a classic for me. And yeah, I actually can't wait to see it again. I really want to see Monsters University now. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, let's get to my final score and thoughts. Alright, so with all those positives and that little negative, little nitpick being said, I have to give Monsters Inc. an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, I feel like now it's become a Pixar classic for me, and Monsters University was a great little addition to that universe. And to be honest, I really wouldn't mind to see a Monsters Inc. sequel to kind of see where Mike and Sully are now, and what if Boo grows up, and and how the world is now that they found out that the laughter is like 10 times more potent than for energy than screams. So with all that being said, let me and Ryan know your thoughts on the film in the comment section down below. And if you guys want to follow me outside of YouTube, you guys can at The Real Talk with 2 Ks on Instagram and Twitter. You guys can also find me on Stardust, just at The Real Talk, and here on YouTube, again, just at The Real Talk. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys next time at the movies. And Ryan, back to you, sir.
Guys, you need to go subscribe to John from The Real Talk. He's an awesome dude, such a great friend. He's got a lot of great stuff over there. He invited me to take part in his Road to Infinity War, and I'm doing the favor to him to join me here. So John, you're a good pal. Thanks for joining me, man. To be honest, this isn't a Pixar film I don't rewatch a lot. I have not seen this movie in a while. I remember watching it a lot as a kid and enjoying it, and I just love Billy Crystal and John Goodman as a pair. They're like a match made in heaven. And rewatching this movie, I love Monsters Inc. It's a great time. It's a Pixar classic. There's really not much wrong to this movie. It's an enjoyable Pixar classic that fans have come to love for years. Billy Crystal and John Goodman as Mike Wazowski and Sully. These two combined together are a match made in heaven. They're amazing characters. I love Mike Wazowski and Sully. They're the best parts of this movie for sure. Watching Monsters Inc. many times and just loving these characters. I also love Boo. Very adorable character. I love Boo. Steals the show a lot of times. And the villains in this movie really did catch my attention. Steve Buscemi as Randall. Randall's a mischievous villain that, rewatching it, he looked really creepy and menacing at times. You could tell that Randall's up to stuff and he is not that good of a guy. The villain in this movie, as well as Mr. Waternose, the evil CEO of Monsters Incorporated. Once you find out that he was all in on this, you're just like, really? But yeah, those are some great characters in the film. But another thing I enjoy about Monsters Inc. is the animation. It still holds up today. Fantastic, a lot of great sequences in here. And there's a really intense final act with all these doors, and one they're trying to find Boo's door. And it really still holds up today. The comedy in this film is hilarious. It's one of the funniest Pixar films to date. And all the other characters too that really have no relevance to the story really are that hilarious. I really enjoyed some of the other work in here. And it's just a timeless classic that still people watch today. With the Pixar movie, there's got to be a lot of emotion, and this movie does have some really tear-dropping scenes. The final scene where Sully says bye to Boo, it's so freaking heartbreaking. Kitty's gotta go. Tears. And that's what Pete Docter does very well with these movies. He directed Up as well and Inside Out. He knows how to bring the tears to you. Pete Docter, you sneaky guy. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I do have a couple of minor flaws to it that makes it from perfect, so let's jump right into the negatives. There's this snail character that really didn't add any relevance to the story by the final act. They do something with this character by the final act, and it's like, did you really need to do that? And also the love interest of Mike Wazowski, the snake hair girl. Yeah, she really didn't add much to the movie, and there wasn't as much value to her character. There's also some decision making with characters that's like, why did that happen? You've been working with this character for a while, and that's Mr. Waternose. Once you find out he's the villain in the movie, like he's been working with Randall all along, they show it, they don't explain. And I can see why it's a harmless animated film that's just an hour and 32 minutes that really didn't need any explaining. In the end, guys, Monsters Inc. is a charming classic, very funny, great performances. There's a reason why Billy Crystal and John Goodman are still remembered to this day as these characters. and we got a prequel to Monsters University, but fans definitely wanted a sequel. I think once this movie finally ends, you don't need a sequel. It's great. Really enjoyable movie and a lot of fun. All those things come into factor. I'm going to give Monsters, Inc. a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's a fair grade for this movie. Alright guys, that was my quick review and thoughts on Monsters, Inc. What did you guys think of Monsters, Inc.? Let us know your thoughts, as well as where does Monsters, Inc. rank in your Pixar ranking? Let us know down below. Once again, thank you so much, John from The Real Talk, for talking about Monsters, Inc. with me. Again, guys, his channel link is in the description below. Please go check him out. Monsters, Inc. done. Now we're going to be talking about Finding Nemo that came out in 2003. And joining me for Finding Nemo is my good buddy Tyler Calvert. Look forward to that, guys. That's up next. Thank you, guys, as always, for watching this review. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!